serving up a warm dish of the Triads culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
All right, hey folks, and welcome to episode 145 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of March 16th through 22nd, 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we are opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill. So, I'll be honest with everybody up front. I really don't have a whole lot more to talk about than you know, the elephant in the room, or actually in the world. I have posted a few blog posts with updates from local restaurants around on my blog, themanwhoatetown.com. I think the future is really up in the air right now, at least the immediate future. So I can only report what people in businesses tell me, and really, they don't know what's going on either. I want to tell you all to go to the restaurants and support them and spend money. I also want to say that I sympathize with any of you who are wondering where your next paycheck's going to come from. If at all, because I am in that predicament, and I'm breaking the fourth wall here, but doing the Man Who Ate the Town, the Less Desirables get me a lot of things, but they don't really pay a lot of bills. How I make my money is from producing podcasts for other folks, businesses, or individuals. If I can't get people here, I can't do a podcast for them. Well, I mean, I can, but it's more difficult. I'm trying to do my part to still visit restaurants and local businesses, but who knows what will happen in the next little bit. Bigger cities are restricting restaurants and bars to takeout only, or even shutting them down. I fear what that will do to the businesses here, but there's only so much I can do, especially when regulation takes over. I have no say in that. Just continue to do what you can, as I will for our friends, not only in the restaurant world, but every business, big, small, local, corporate, whatever. Everyone's being affected here. It doesn't care if you're a chain. It doesn't care if you're a mom and pop store. It doesn't care if you're a food truck. It doesn't care if you're the street vendor. It is, it's just not good. So all that being said, I'm going to give what news I actually have, and know that this may or may not come to fruition, and it may or may not ever happen. It may or may not be within the next 2 weeks. It may be never. Who knows? We are all in flux right now until the whole thing the curve gets flattened a little, I think. So, here's what I have. We'll just go with it.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Beginning today, Monday the 15th, Silo Bistro and Bar will offer family meals for curbside pickup. These can be pre-ordered by calling 336-608-4359 before 3 p.m. each day, and the specials will change daily. Their goal is to offer simple and affordable options portioned for 4 people. Offerings will be limited at first, but will expand as they are capable of doing so. So today's family meal for 4 people, and this is only $25 for 4 people. Okay?
Wow.
It's taco salad with chipotle jackfruit and Roma tomato and English cucumber and avocado, purple onion, fresh cilantro, pico de gallo, salsa Valentina ranch, and tortilla chips. Now, Monday, you have to understand, is Vegan Monday. They fix things that aren't vegan, but that's their specials always. So that's why this is all vegan stuff for today. The other thing that they have, you can choose between that first thing I said or the vegan chili and avocado, cilantro, and tortilla chips. So it's that's a good thing, I think. And my son works there.
That's a great value.
Yeah.
You couldn't take 4 people and sit down and have that meal at Silo for $25.
No, you couldn't. So they're cheaper doing it this way, and they're still making money, and they're getting you home to your loved ones without having to come out, and you're still supporting them.
That's a win all the way around, right?
That certainly is. And I'm going to give that number again. It's 336-608-4359 before 3 p.m. each day. So, I mean, like they said, it's limited right now because they don't know what's going to happen with this. So don't freak out if you call and they say, well, we're sold out. Or call now and don't worry about whether it's sold out. So yeah.
I'm just glad to see that they're giving us an option, another way that we can get out and get some great food and be supporting local businesses.
Yeah.
Being very creative in their thinking. I love that.
Yep. I do too. It's just going to be so hit or miss with the restaurants, and I really, really am worried about what it's going to do to the health of course, the people, but the health of the restaurants themselves, because it's going to get rough.
Well, I mean, if this many people end up being out of work,
yeah,
it is going to be tough.
So Shokunin Ramen is having supposedly only because we don't know what's going on here. On the 21st, Saturday, March 21st, they're doing another pop-up with Mission Pizza.
Nice.
So I was looking on the event, and the only thing it says is that it's happening. I don't see any menu or anything. So keep an eye on Shokunin Ramen's Facebook page, as I'm sure they will post that soon. I know that Josh had just posted the difference between shoyu, soy sauce, and tamari, and he knows what he's talking about. So just check out it's Shokunin Ramen, Shokunin Ramen. Or maybe even over on Mission Pizza's Facebook page. They will, I'm sure, keep everything going. And the thing about Josh is, I give him a hard time for just things, but he does know what he's talking about. And he's one of the few places that they make their own noodles. So that's
a big deal.
That is a big deal. So you know exactly how it's being sourced, and know that if this happens, then it's going to be done with love and care.
Not made by a machine, made by people.
Made by people, indeed. On Thursday, I posted about Black Mountain Chocolate Bar to open in the Innovation Quarter this summer. And this is right directly behind, right directly behind where Travis Meyer's new restaurant's going to be. So there's going to be some good company. And they are moving from their Trade Street location to the Bailey South complex. They're across from Bailey Park in the Innovation Quarter.
It's a huge expansion on space, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 4,800 square foot for the location.
I said, do they even have half of that in their current spot?
I would say
maybe a third of that.
I would say they probably have about 1,400.
Yeah.
So that's barely a quarter. So along with the move, they're changing their name from Black Mountain Chocolate Factory to the Black Mountain Chocolate Bar. They're going to add coffee and cocktails during extended morning and late night hours at its new 4,800 square foot location. So the Peters, who own it, Brent and Millie, it was just a good opportunity for them to move into this. For one, this place is going to be jumping into a bigger spot that they can do more, offer more, and because if you go in there now, it's really tight. If you go in there with your laptop and think you're going to have a cup of coffee and work quietly, it's not going to happen.
You might go in there and get a cup of coffee and walk over to Fiddle and Fish and sit down, but
Yeah,
you're not going to
yeah.
do that in their space.
Yeah. So Brent Peters says, from morning coffee to an afternoon cookie treat to an evening cocktail, the Black Mountain Chocolate Bar will offer sweet fun for every age at every hour. So I don't know about every hour, but every hour they're open.
I'm excited about this. I love chocolate.
Yeah.
And Black Mountain has really been doing some great chocolate.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this.
And Tira Cowan, who is the chocolatier over there, she does amazing work, not just with the bars, but everything that comes out of there. She is very, very awesome and good with what she does. So this is going to be a great thing. It's going to be a great thing for the power plant. It's going to be a great thing for the Innovation Quarter. It's going to be a great thing for the Black Mountain Chocolate Bar, factory, whatever they're doing, and it's going to be a great thing for this town.
Very much. I'm excited.
What else do I have? I talked to Daniel Butner today, and I'm going to pull up what he told me about their wine.
Some of the comments that he's posted out online in the last few weeks, or last few days, I should say.
Yeah.
Very inspirational. Very Daniel.
Let's see. So I asked him, I said, are the wine dinners still going on? And he says, yes. Seating will be by group instead of family style, like they always put everybody at the big tables.
Mm-hmm.
He's waiting to see more information, but sign up is necessary, so he can update us personally if need be, if you sign up for it. Right now, I am doing an inventory of what I have to go feed those that are making it happen for others. We are taking every precaution we can and will be here as long as the law will allow. He also says he's going over CDC protocol before the employee walks in the building with a wellness question form by phone before they leave the house. So hand washing is constantly happening with all door handles and bathroom fixtures cleaned with a new chemical that they got in to fight the virus. They are feeding the call center of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools for tomorrow and expect the list to grow once the meetings are finished and their calls are returned. So it's... And I told Daniel, because I said, you are a great man, Daniel Butner. And he said he kind of gets embarrassed from that. I said, well, it still means that you are...
I get it, because he's not doing this for him. This is not a personal glory thing. This is, I live here. I'm a part of this community, and I want to support what's happening. So yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah, he says he's just the guy making food for the band on the Titanic. So
that might be the one time I'm happy to go onto the Titanic.
Yes,
he's cooking. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, so the wine dinners, as of now, are still happening tomorrow the 17th and next Wednesday the 25th. Again, it's Spadino de Mar with Martini Rossi Sparkling Rosé, the Tuscan Strawberry Salad paired with the St. M Riesling, the Pollo Rosa Maria paired with Pian de Nova Super Tuscan, and the Limoncello bread pudding paired with Riondo Prosecco. So go to the link that is on my blog, themanwhoatetown.com, for the show notes, and it will take you to the reservation. It's only $45 per person. So, make sure that you get in there if that's what you're wanting to do. And again, remember that it's not going to be everybody at a table. They're putting them in smaller groups, so you're not all hunched together like normal. So
Smart choice.
I think right now, I have some other things that I've talked about, like Springhouse Restaurant, Kitchen and Bar, and Quanta Basta. Both Tim Grandinetti pretty much gave a solemn promise that they are fighting COVID-19 while still being, open for everybody. Bowie's Market has committed to their public safety. Diamondback Grill have laid out some stuff. These are all the things that I have talked about in my blog post. So if you watch themanwhoatetown.com, again, it's anytime I get restaurant news there, I post it. And if you want to know the other small businesses and things in town, or the arts and entertainment stuff, you can follow my daily blog, which is uselessthingsneedlove2.com. And Friday alone got 2 blog posts because I had a lot of stuff coming in, and I started combining them, but they were there. So that's where we stand on the local news that as I have it now. And
for right this moment.
Yeah, and again, all things can change at a moment's notice. It's according to what the CDC throws out and what the restaurants deem they can or cannot follow on that. So if they are open, I'm going to tell you, use your best judgment to support them. Just do what you can, if you can, and if you can't, stay safe. And as always, wash your damn hands.
Yeah, it's funny that we've got lines in the men's room that we used to never see.
I know, it used to be all in the women's room that had lines.
Now the guys are like, oh, I guess I actually have to do this hand washing thing now.
Yeah. What were they doing
Maybe
before?
That'll become a habit.
So let's do some food holidays. Today's the 16th of March, National Artichoke Hearts Day, which I'm okay with artichoke hearts. I like spinach and artichoke dip, but does it need a day?
No, not really.
No.
Not really.
No.
But, I guess the artichoke producers of the world wanted us to remember more artichokes.
Don't forget the artichoke. Have a heart for artichoke hearts, right? On the 16th in 1912, First Lady Helen Herron Taft plants the first cherry tree in Washington, D.C. And now that's a big thing.
Oh, now it's huge.
Yeah. They got it as a gift from the Japanese, I believe, from the First Lady of Japan at the time, or whatever the equivalent of the First Lady was.
So 108 years later, Washington is known for its cherry trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big festival and all that. So on the 16th in 1950, President Truman signed the Oleomargarine Act, which repealed federal taxes on oleomargarine. Okay.
Yay. Personally?
Yeah.
I don't like margarine.
I don't either. I like natural things.
Give me butter.
Butter all the way. Butter.
Well, when you can leave margarine sitting in the trunk of your car for a year and pull it out and it has not changed, it has not spoiled, nothing.
Hasn't melted.
That tells you something.
Yep.
Try doing that with butter.
Remember, folks, fake food is not food.
It's fake.
It's fake
It's
food.
not good for you.
In 1978, the Amoco Cadiz oil tanker ran aground in Port-sur-Rocks, 3 miles off the coast of Brittany, France. Why do they always have these Spanish names for these boats? Wasn't the Valdez that did it in Seattle or Washington, and the Cadiz here. Okay, it split in two and spilled its entire cargo of 220,000 tons of crude oil. It was the largest oil spill by a grounded tanker up to that date. In 1990, a third Michelin star was awarded to Restaurant Louis XV in the Hotel de Paris. Chef Alain Ducasse, who was 33 at the time, is the youngest chef ever to have his restaurant receive 3 Michelin stars.
Well.
And if you've ever wondered, if I haven't mentioned it on here, the Michelin star is the same people that make the tires.
So why do they do tires and food?
Well, if you'll remember back when maps were a big thing.
I remember maps.
Yeah. So, well, but I mean, the Michelin, they actually did like AAA does, but they did like not only road map, but road guides. And they did it all over the world because Michelin, I believe, is French by nature. And it was like, well, we give these restaurants so many stars and blah 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 blah, and it started off, I think, more of just we like it a lot to, hey, this is some really good stuff. So I was always found that funny that it was the tire people. This says 2020, like this would be next year, but the coronavirus update on the 16th, Minnesota begins closing all schools and a ban on domestic travel begins for all military and defense department civilian employees. 3/17 is St. Patrick's Day. According to many studies, this is the biggest day of the year for combined food and beverage sales in restaurants and bars. That will certainly not be the case this year.
Not this year. Well, I don't know. We may set some records. For the least spent.
For the least spent. I know for a fact that Finnegan's Wake has canceled their planned festivities.
Well, I mean, when the whole country has canceled their plans, that tells you something.
Yeah. It's corned beef and cabbage day. For obvious reasons, but okay. You have to make that at home. I like corned beef
and cabbage.
Do you like Reuben's?
Yes. But better when the sauerkraut has been cooked.
Yeah, instead of just plain.
Yeah, because I'm not a big fan of sour.
Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit of a sour note.
Yeah.
But if you take the sauerkraut and cook it like in a kielbasa sausage or something, really gets a nice flavor, and it takes that acidic level down just a little bit. That's when I like it.
All right. Well, we had I think I told you last week, we had the bratwurst dogs.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One, there was no bread except for like hoagie buns at the store. And two, we had it already and decided it was just time to eat it. So that was actually really good. And I had mine, of course, with the just out of the package sauerkraut without cooking it. But yeah. All right, well, on the 17th in 1762, the first St. Patrick's Day parade was held in New York City by Irish soldiers serving in the British Army.
Before we were a country, we were celebrating.
Yes. And this guy's last name is fitting. In 1768, William Cookworthy received a British patent for a process to manufacture fine white porcelain from local clay, leading to the establishment of the porcelain industry in Britain. Cookworthy.
Cookworthy, what a great name.
It is a great name. Stephen Perry, in 1845, Stephen Perry and Thomas Barnabas Daft patented a method for manufacturing rubber bands using vulcanized rubber. Also on that same date, Henry Jones, a baker in Bristol, England, received a patent for self-rising flour, which was flour premixed with baking powder and salt. He also received a patent a U.S. patent for the same thing on May 1st in 1849. In 1864, on the 17th, work began on a 2-mile-long, 5-foot diameter water supply tunnel for Chicago. It was completed 3 years later.
That's a big piece of pipe.
Yeah. It is a huge piece of pipe. In 1910, the Campfire Girls was founded in the United States. Previously, the official year was 1912, but I think they figured they retroactively went back to 1910.
Now, that was the forerunners of the Girl Scouts?
It was, well, yes. It's now inclusive of everyone. It's now just called Campfire. But I think it is a scouting thing, but not necessarily for, like, the Girl Scouts. I'm not exactly sure. I did a little reading over it and decided that I didn't really care. So
next,
I said, "What is the Campfire Girls?" So I thought, thought it was like the Spice Girls but different. On the 17th,
maybe not.
Yeah, tell you what I want. What I really, really want: marshmallows.
Some Campfire Girls. Yeah.
Campfire Girls are singing their song, doo-dah.
Doo-dah, doo-dah.
In 1968, on the 17th, over 6,000 sheep are found dead in Skull Valley, Utah, as a result of a U.S. Army nerve gas testing at nearby Dugway Proving Ground on March 13th. So it was March 13th that they had done the thing, but they found 6,000 sheep dead in Skull Valley, Utah from it.
You know, the sheep should have known if you're in Skull Valley, not the place to be. Just the name alone should have warned you. Mm-hmm. Skull Valley.
Damn sheep. On the 18th, it's I can get behind this one. Oatmeal Cookie Day. I like it.
Yeah. Put some chocolate chips in there.
Yeah. It's also National Sloppy Joe Day. And I'm a fan of Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joe, slop. In 1845, on the 18th, most accepted date given for John Chapman, that's Johnny Appleseed's death, an American pioneer and legend. He planted apple seeds in the Ohio River Valley area. That was Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. The dates are variously given as March 10th, 11th, or 18th, but the 18th seems to be the most widely accepted date.
Somewhere in this 2-week range.
Yeah. On the 18th in 1863, women rioted in Salisbury, North Carolina to protest the lack of flour and salt in the Confederacy.
Well, because it was all going to the war effort.
It was. Huh. In 1918, on the 18th, the first U.S. ocean-going concrete ship, the SS Faith, was launched in Oakland. I don't know how I feel about concrete ships.
Yeah, that's a little odd. Is it ships that haul concrete or ships made out of concrete?
I'm not exactly sure. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's a little weird.
On the 19th, it's the first day of spring this year, the vernal equinox. It can be the 19th, 20th, or 21st, and this year's the earliest, the 19th.
Seems like spring came, 2 months ago.
Yeah. It seemed like fall went straight to spring.
Yeah. We really didn't have the winter that I expected to have.
Or that anybody, because, it's going to be a bad winter this year, and it wasn't.
We barely had snow.
Yeah, we had flurries one day, and the temperatures never got under, I would say under 29 degrees. And that could be in spring. It can be an early morning at 29 degrees. So, I don't know. The 19th, I don't understand this, won't get behind it, but I'll talk about it anyway. It's called the Great American Meat Out, which means just eat vegan for a day. It's every first day of spring. No. Just leaving it at that.
No. Thanks. I enjoy being a carnivore.
I do too. I love eating anything that had a mother. So it's also Poultry Day on the 19th. Just for those vegans.
In response to the Meatless Day, we're going to call this Poultry Day.
Poultry Day, indeed. It's also, for you, National Chocolate Caramel Day.
Nice. I like it.
On the 19th in 1887, construction began on the Hotel del Coronado in San Diego. At the time, the 399-room hotel was the largest hotel in the world.
Not anymore.
399. The hotels in this town have that many.
I was just saying.
On the 19th in 1917, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the 8-hour workday for railroads.
And thank you for that.
Yes, we now have railroads. The year after that, the Standard Time Act of 1918 was passed, authorizing daylight saving time in the United States. It became effective March 31st of that year. We should just leave it
stop
there.
That.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. In 1931, on the 19th, the Nevada State Assembly legalized gambling for providing a source of revenue for the state during the Great Depression.
Huh. I didn't realize that was a Depression era.
I didn't either. I thought it was... When was Nevada a state? That's the question.
That was further back.
Nevada founded. It was in 1864. So
yeah, that's way before.
Yep, October 31st, Halloween in 1864. Where am I? In 1936, on the 19th, canned beer is sold to public in Britain for the first time by Fellinfol Brewery in Wales. Thank you guys for that.
I still prefer it in a bottle.
I used to do that, but truthfully, it's fresher in a can. You have no light contamination. You have less chance for air to get into the container. You don't have the rust taste on the bottle, which if you drink beer from a bottle anyway, it needs to be in a glass. As with a can too, but especially a bottle. I used to have that. Well, it's not the same if it's in a can, but canning is cheaper, more healthy for the environment. It's easier to recycle than glass, at least for like aluminum, anyway.
Right.
And to me, I have found that nothing beats beer on tap, but if I'm going to have it, cans are just as good, if not better, than the bottles. And I was like you. I used to say, no, I want it in a bottle because it seemed cheap. It seemed cheap to me to have it in a can, but no, it's pretty good now in a can.
I appreciate the new perspective.
In 1991, on the 19th, the 5 millionth patent, number 5 million, was issued to Lonnie O. Ingram, Tyrell Conway, and Flavio Alterthum of the University of Florida. The patent was for a genetically engineered form of the E. coli bacterium that converts plant material into ethanol.
So there's a place for E. coli.
Yeah, just not in my house.
Or digestive system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In 2008, wow, we're still going on the 19th. There's a lot of stuff happening. In 2008, in Alamosa, Colorado, state health officials warned residents to stop drinking and cooking with tap water after samples had tested positive for salmonella contamination. The ban was lifted in April after the city flushed its 51 miles of water lines with a heavy dose of chlorine. The salmonella outbreak linked to the city's tap water sickened nearly 400 people before being declared safe to drink again on April the 11th. In 2012, on the 19th, Israel passed the Photoshop law, which bans the showing of overly thin models in local advertising in an attempt to fight the spread of eating disorders.
Interesting.
Also in 2012, industry research firm Technomic reported that Wendy's is now the number 2 hamburger chain in the United States, overtaking Burger King, who was number 3. McDonald's is still number 1, of course.
Yeah. I'm curious if that has changed any since then.
I would like to know that too. Let's see. 320 is National Bock Beer Day. Bock beer is a special kind of brewing. I think it's more of a bottom brewing thing, and it's usually higher in alcohol, which means it's my kind of beer.
Now, what do you mean by bottom brewing?
Okay.
What is that?
Okay.
The short version.
Yeah, well.
The Cliff Notes version.
It's a strong lager of German origin. What does Bock mean? I read this, and I did care about this, but I want to make sure I give the right answer.
I would appreciate a correct answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny thing.
Okay. Bottom fermented, lightly hopped. So, what does bottom fermented? It's usually made from. Okay. So there's a bottom fermented, which means it's usually made from the residue at the bottom of the tank. So, people say, "Oh my God, that sounds good." That's not. If you don't like beer, don't learn how it's made. It's like sausage.
Yeah.
If you like sausage, don't worry about it. And it lasts a little bit longer. They were brewed by Bavarian monks to sustain them during their fasting time, because you still drink that, which is my kind of fasting.
I was gonna say, yeah. Woo! I'm fasting. I'm feeling no pain.
Yeah, and they it's usually a little bit higher in alcohol content because of the fermenting process. So, I'm sorry that wasn't more definitive, but it is made from the residue on the bottom of the tank. So that's where the fermenting happens. So there's top fermenting too, which means I think the stuff it gathers are on the surface.
Right.
So
cool.
It's World Flour Day and National Ravioli Day on the 20th.
Is that FLOWER or FLOUR?
FLOUR. Because it's flour. Not flour. It's flour.
Yeah. Flour.
I guess it's more because flour.
Yeah.
In 1602, the Dutch East India Company was established, and the Netherlands granted it monopoly on trade with Asia. In 1760, fire in Boston happened and destroyed more than 350 homes, shops, and warehouses, and spread down to the wharves, where 10 ships were left in ashes. Wow, that's a big fire. In 1878, on the 20th, Queen Victoria Market, the Vic Market, opened in Melbourne, Australia. A historic open-air market spread over 2 city blocks, selling everything from Australian fruit and vegetables, local and imported gourmet foods, to cosmetics, clothing, and souvenirs. In 1952, on the 20th, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, more than 1,300 cattle are killed to halt a foot and mouth disease epidemic.
This has not been a good week in history for livestock.
No, it hasn't. And it's not necessarily a good week in history for us this week either, or it won't be. In 1954, Columbia, Pennsylvania, the first newspaper vending machines were used. And now they're everywhere. On the 21st, it's French Bread Day.
Ah, yes.
Yes, it's California Strawberry Day.
Ooh, yeah. That sounds good.
And it's National Corn Dog Day, which happens to be the first Saturday of the collegiate basketball tournament, even though this one has been canceled.
I still have to say, that surprised me.
That they canceled the tournament? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could have still had the tournament without the audience.
Well, yes, but we see what happened in NBA. It had one person that tested positive, and then 3 other people did on his team. And if you're on the court with somebody that has this, and it goes, and then they take it back to their schools. And so, I mean, there's 68 teams. I know it's a 64, but there's also the play-in games and all that stuff. So all those students interacting and mingling. I mean, yes, it's spread across the country, but still. I was surprised at it too, but I'm also in support of it.
I mean, I get it. I'm with you. I'm in support of it.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. And men of this country, I saw one post this morning. Guy was like, so, because of all the stuff that's happened here in the last few days, I found this woman sitting on the couch here next to me. She claims she's my wife. She's nice.
Yeah. It does. It does at least inspire conversation and together time.
It does. It's a good thing. We need that.
Yes, we do. On the 21st in 1994, due to bad harvest, there is a shortage of Japanese-grown rice. Japan's imperial palace begins serving royal meals to the emperor and empress with rice grown in the United States, China, and Thailand. That was, I guess, never happened before. And on the 21st in 1999, Bertrand Pickard and Brian Jones landed in the Egyptian desert, having completed the first around-the-world hot air balloon flight. According to the BBC, they carried fresh food, including bread, cheese, and pre-cooked steaks for about 6 or 7 days, after which they made do with dried foods such as cereals and powdered milk. The flight began in the Swiss Alps, took 19 days, 21 hours, and 55 minutes. And it covered 29,056 non-stop miles.
Imagine in a hot air balloon.
Yes.
I mean, you're way up there. You're open to the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I wonder how many storms they went through. And
yeah, no kidding. And how do you steer? How do you actually get around the globe?
Yeah, I don't know.
When you can't really steer, and it makes me want to ask. I'm the guy that would think this. What do you do when you got to go to the bathroom?
I guess you just hang it over.
Look out below!
Yeah. Well, they won't know the difference.
I poop on you, Swiss Alps.
I fart in your general direction.
Yeah. Just the way my mind thinks. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. On the 22nd, it's United Nations World Water Day. Okay.
We need that. Funny thing. World Water.
It's National Bavarian Crepes Day. I like crepes of all kinds.
Me too.
And it's the earliest day on which Easter may occur.
Ah, okay. Good to know.
Yep.
Not this year.
When is Easter this year?
I think the 12th of April.
Okay.
It's a little further out.
Yeah. All right, and on the 22nd in 1630, Boston, Massachusetts enacts the first colonial gambling legislation, banning all cards, dice, and gambling games under pain of punishment.
Yeah, like that really made a big impact.
Yeah. In 1765, on the 22nd, Britain enacted the Stamp Act, which imposed a tax on every piece of printed paper used in the American colonies, which I believe was part of the start of the Boston Tea Party, right? Wasn't it the Stamp Act that set everybody off?
Protest.
In 1841, cornstarch method was patented. Englishman Orlando Jones patented a method for making cornstarch.
I use it in everything.
We do, and that's what makes homemade Chinese and Japanese food so good is cornstarch, not flour. Makes it crispier. In 1933, on the 22nd, President Franklin Roosevelt signs the Cullen-Harrison Act, allowing the manufacture and sale of 3.2% beer. It becomes.
Why would you want a beer that's only 3.2%?
Well, remember, this is 1933.
Near beer?
It becomes effective on April 7th in advance of Prohibition's repeal on December 5th of that year. So it's baby steps. We'll start with 3.2%. Baby steps.
Yeah, if you hadn't had beer in a while, start with this.
Yeah. And if you have, just drink this legally. In 1985, on the 22nd, Clara Heller, the "Where's the Beef" lady in Wendy's burger commercial, was fired for making a spaghetti sauce commercial for Campbell's Soup. Wendy's said this caused her to lose credibility.
Really? Like the American public cares.
Yeah, and and what credibility does it take that you're just asking where's the beef?
Yeah.
And what do you?
Was she an expert on beef prior to this moment, or was she just an actress?
I believe she was just a hired actress.
So when we start talking about credibility of actors and actresses as spokespersons, okay, it strains it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's the beef?
Well, where's the beef? That's your food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Eagler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, and wonder, where's the justice, or what's the point in letting Clara Peller go for losing credibility? It ruined her life that she did that soup commercial.
Because spaghetti would have beef.
Yeah.
Good spaghetti. I'm just going to say that. Good spaghetti.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that vegetarian stuff. Nah.
Yeah, I've done that. It's okay, but give me the beef.
Yep. The Man Who Ate Your Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables Beer Dad's Fan Interference Department 5B, Beeswax, Final, and More, which is recording after this show. Nice. And you can, Sipping NC, The Art of Drinking is coming back. And Wheeler's Dog. If you've not listened to Wheeler's Dog, go to the TLDpodnetwork.com and find Wheeler's Dog. It's funny. It's my buddy Eugene doing his thing. You can find all these podcasts and the latest episodes on our network website and directory. As I said, TLDpodnetwork.com. You can also find social media links for each right there as well. We'd greatly appreciate if you visit our sponsors, especially now because we don't know what's going on. I know the Humblebee shop is closed because Brittany's on vacation. She was supposed to go to Spain, and that was canceled.
Yeah. But she was going to go somewhere.
She went to the mountains. So she's not open, but when she opens back up at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown, you need to go by and see her. You'll get lots of delicious things, desserts, cakes, muffins, regular, vegan, gluten-free, all that stuff. The Humblebee shop wants to challenge your perception of Scratch Made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram or visit thehumblebeeshopapa.co.
That's SHOPPE.co.
In Washington Park, Provision and Provision Company is located at 301. You'll find a little bit of everything there. Local fruits and vegetables, meat and dairy from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas made right here in Winston-Salem. And I noticed that they have cleaned out the spot in there, so they may be moving in soon. Wolfie's Custard and more there at Washington Perk is better than a convenience store. Not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, Washington Perk, or at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. And like I said, Carrabba's Italian Grill, located 587 South Stratford Road, is still having their wine dinners. Again, you'll find the link for that on the show notes on the blog. And it's going to be a safer, for this anyway, and it's never not safe, but a safer, more healthy way to do it now when they're doing it in groups instead of a big clump of people. Let Daniel, who is quite possibly the most awesome person in this town, demonstrate what a responsible, large-scale family of restaurants looks like. Carrabba's takes the community it serves very seriously, and having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Follow Carrabba's follow Carrabba's on social media and on Carrabba's.com.
And by supporting Carrabba's, by going there and having the wine dinner, you're enabling Daniel to continue the work that he's doing to support people in the community.
That's right. I believe they're going to serve the triage nurses at the hospital as well. They're doing the testing and taking in the people.
The folks who are working triple time?
Yeah.
He's there taking care of them?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, well, keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, tim@themanwhoatethetown.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man Who Ate the Town. On Instagram, we are the Man, or just not the Man Who Ate the Town. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast or any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422-NUMB. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, that's 336-422-NUMB 6862. This is a reminder to our listeners, and is just good practice, not just now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Don't use the antibacterial. Actually, some of that bacteria you need. Just real soap. And you know what? If you don't have soap, use body wash. If you don't have body wash, use shampoo. Use something that is a soap. Sing happy birthday while doing it, or recite the Star Trek opening, or Another Brick in the Wall, or Toto, or whatever. Your favorite rap song, whatever you're doing. Just do it. Wash your damn hands. All right. Well, my name's Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit.
Yummus.
The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.